if I know my x value, that means all I have to do is say that, well, x plus y equals that 68. Well, x equals 15.06. So y is going to equal 68 minus 15.06. Make sure all my numbers match up. Yes, they do. So that's going to equal 52.94. But you have to know how to draw these triangles. I stress the importance of that, and I highly, highly suggest you just drawing your big one and then drawing another right angle and match all your right angles up to the triangles that pair up. All right, questions on that? No? Okay, I'm going to go through the lesson, and I'll go over homework questions. All right, we have a new theorem to prove that two triangles are similar, and that is called our side-side-side similarity theorem, or SSS for short. That stands for if two triangles are similar, if and only if all three pair of corresponding sides are proportional. So if all of those sides are proportional to its side on the other triangle, then they're going to be similar triangles. This can get confusing because your smallest side on one triangle has to correspond to the smallest side of the other triangle. So once again, this is a suggestion. If you're good at just seeing these things, then you can just see which ones match up. But this is how I do it, and this is how I strongly suggest you do it. I'm going to look at that top triangle. So I'm going to look at that top triangle. And what I'm going to do in that top triangle is I'm going to label which one is my smallest side. So that's my smallest side. I'll call one my medium side, and I'll call one my large side. I guess for the time being, maybe I'll just put small, large, medium for our notes. But normally I would just put L, M, and... All right. So now I'm going to go to the other triangle. And I'm going to rewrite this 36 down here because that actually does apply to that smaller triangle. So now we have 28, 36, and 48. So I'm going to label that 28 as my small side. My 36 is the medium of this triangle, and 48 is our large. Large will match with large, medium with medium, and small with small. Keep them in order. Once again, once I pick one of these triangles to be our top for a proportion, it has to stay our top. So I'm just going to pick the one on top to be the top of the proportion. Let's pick the small one. So in order for this to be similar, 21 over 28 is our smalls. That's a proportion to a small. In order for this to be proportional, and I'm not sure if it is, so I'll put a little question mark, that has to equal the proportion to the mediums. Well, mediums would be 27 over 48. That would have to be proportional to our larges. Our larges would be 36 over 48. A good quick way to check to see if you had them right is, are all the top ones bigger than the bottom ones? Yes, they are. Yeah, Sabrina.
Why would there be 48 twice?
Did I make something up?
Yeah.
It should be 36.
It should be 36.
Oh, it should be the 36. Yep. You are 100% correct. Thank you, one person, for catching that. It was a test, and you all failed except for Sabrina. Yeah, it should be 36 because that is my medium. All right, so we just have to make sure all these fractions are equal. If they are, it's similar. If they're not all equal, they are not similar. So let's reduce 21 and 28. Well, I can divide the top and bottom by 7. And that's going to go ahead and give me 3 over 4. I'm hoping this is congruent. Well, what goes into 27 and 36? 9 goes into both of them, so we're going to divide the top and bottom by 9. And we're going to come up with 3 over 4. Awesome. So that one checks out. And our last one, what goes into 36 and also goes into 48? 12. Divided by 12. Divide that guy by 12. And guess what? It equals 3 over 4. We are good. They are similar. And see how I have it marked? It's going to help me write my similarity statement. So P goes to A. So let's find P to A. P to A goes across my small side. So P to A goes across my small side and leads into my medium. So we have to go across our small side. So I'm going to go LE. Double check we're right. So this goes small to medium. LE goes from small to medium, so it is LEA. And the justification is it's just the side similarity theorem, or however you want to put it. I'm just going to put side. Cool? Make sense? I highly suggest marking them small, medium, and large. Yes?
So we're going to have to write if you like on a test or whatever?
Yes, yeah.
Justify your answer?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Well, this justified my answer. This is actually my justification. That is just the theorem that backs up my justification. Okay. The next thing is side angle side similarity. Make sure the angle's between the two sides. All right, just like when we did side angle side, proving the two triangles, the angle had to be sandwiched between the two sides. So that's what needs to happen. So in order to have side angle side, two triangles are similar if and only if we have a pair of corresponding sides in proportion and corresponding included with the angle between it is congruent. So we need an angle between them being congruent. And guess what? Using vertical angles, I do have an angle sandwiched between them that is congruent. Now, once again, I'm going to pick out both these. I'm going to say that 20 is my small side. 25 is my large side. Since I only have two, it's just small and large. 12 would be my small one here. 15 would be my large one. So small matches up with small, large with large. So I'm going to pick that 12 over 20, and I'm going to hope that equals 25 over 15. Oh, 15 over 25. What would have been an easy way to check that?
When you do it, it's not going to be right.
It's not going to be right, so you might want to check. And also, this one's smaller than this one, so this one should be smaller than that one. It's a nice little quick, like it should just feel off, like something's got to be out of order. So I have 15 over that 25. Simplifying it, I could put a 4 into 12. I could put a 4 into 20, so that's going to be 3 over 5. I can get a 5 out of 15 3 times. 25 divided by 5 is 5. That works. I do have side angle side. Can anyone tell me how to write it? I want to say triangle who is similar to triangle what, Amber?
HTS.
Hits. Let's see if hits is correct. So we have H to O. H to O goes across the long side. So H to T better go across the long side. Yes, it does. And we go, it is HTS. It's similar. Yes, Sabrina.
Wait, there was it says side angle side. So there were no angles, there were just side.
We did prove an angle.
Oh, yeah.
We have angle SHO. So if you want to write that SHO is congruent to angle OHU. And that was vertical angles. So we did have an angle. Oh, SHT. No, let's do the outside one. It's fine. Yeah, SHT. That's kind of an O moment. All right, so you do have to have an angle. All right, now there's 3 ways to prove triangles are similar. We did one 2 days ago, and that was our angle. So we have our angle postulate, and the other 2 are theorems. So then we had side theorem. And we also had our side angle side theorem. Right now, that's the only 3 ways that we can prove 2 triangles are similar. And they are basically the main ways to show 2 triangles are similar. So angle, side, side, angle, side. Yes?
Which one would we use the most?
Which one we use the most? All of them.
Well, I mean, like, which one?
I will try to have a healthy blend, like in real life.
Yeah.
I don't. It's a mixed bag. It's just what information is given to you. A lot of times you use angle in the real world because you can actually measure angles. A lot easier than measuring sides and stuff. Okay, so let's do these first three together. So once again, I'm going to look at these two triangles, trying to decide if they are similar. So I'm just going to label everything small, medium, large. Well, this 10 is my small. This 15 is my medium, large. 16 is my small. 24 is my medium. 32 is my large. I'm going to make the left one my top, the right one the bottom one. So we're going to do small to small, so that'd be 10 over 16. I'm hoping that equals my mediums matched up, so that would be 15 over 24, and I'm hoping that matches up with my larges. Well, my larges would be 20 over 32. So let's reduce these down. Well, 10 over 16, I know a 2 can go in both of them. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 16 divided by 2 is going to give me 8. And I'm hoping it equals the next one. What goes into 15 and also goes into 24? Yeah, Lydia. 3. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So we're good there. What goes into 20 also goes to 32. What's the biggest thing that goes into 20 and also goes into 32? Hannah? 4. Let's see, 20 divided by 4 is 5. 32 divided by 4 is going to be 8. We are good. It is similar. So let's go ahead and state our similarity. We could pick anything. I'm going to pick, let's go FHG. Is similar to triangle. So I went from F to H. That went along my small and went to my medium. So I need to go across my small to my medium. So that'd be X, R, S. And we did use side, side, side. I just kind of ran out of room writing big. All right, our next one. We have a 70 of 40. So this must be 60 degrees. No, it should be 70 degrees. What was that? I'm just coming up with a third angle because these two don't match up. These two don't match up. I have to have two angles that are congruent. So I don't have two that match up yet. So I'm going to check. Okay, that's 70, 70, 40. That equals 180. Our other one would have to be a 50 degrees. How do I know for a fact this is not similar? Evan? Akshay?
Was the angles like 70 degrees is different from 50 degrees? Like
Say that one more time.
the 70 in the first triangle, like the one that you wrote, isn't the same as the 50 in the second triangle?
Oh, yep. Remember, to be similar, all three of the angles have to be the same. All three of the angles have to be the same, so these aren't similar because all three are not the same. You have to at least find two that are similar. We have a 70, but that 70 doesn't match up with that 50, and that 40 doesn't match up with that 60. So it is not similar because all angles, pay attention to that, all angles of a similar shapes have to be the exact same. Let's go ahead and do the rest. You're going to do the rest on your own if you haven't already. Remember, it's not a race. Do it as correctly as possible. Yeah.
Angle needs to be between two sides, right?
What was that?
Angle needs to be two.
The angle needs to be between the two sides, yes.
Okay.
That's really important on that one. Now is the time to ask if you're not sure about something. Well, let me just, real quick, on number 5, just to make your life a little easier. Just to go a little quicker, we are comparing the big one. Actually, we're not comparing the big one. We're going to compare, just to make your life a little easier, we'll look at this triangle compared to the small triangle. We'll just focus on those two. So are those two similar? So we're not going to use the big triangle, just the medium one compared to the small one. Just so you're not doing a whole bunch of them in a row that you can't prove, can't prove, can't prove, can't prove. Quit thinking so much.
Oh, sorry.
Use side angle side. The angle sandwich between those two sides. Can't use side angle. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of the rest because I want to make sure we have time to look over the homework, and we'll go through these together. All right, so I'm going to take a picture of all of them, and we'll talk about them together. So we did the first two together. Number 3 you're supposed to do on your own, so ask yourself if you got it correct. I said I'm going to use side angle side because I do have sides. I have an angle sandwich between two sides. I circled my smalls, I circled my larges, and I said, well, 12 over 9 has to equal 8 over 6, and it does. So by side angle side, it's going to work out. For number 4, you can't actually solve this. You can't actually solve it because let me quickly write on here. We have side angle. Side angle is not something I know, so we can't actually do number 4. Number 4 is not solvable because we were given side angle instead of side angle side. All right, number 5. I kind of told you the triangles to do it, and I drew them both the same. So I drew PLN, and then I drew LAN by making sure our 90-degree angles match up. The key to this one is to realize that 90 degrees equals 90 degrees. So they do have this angle between two sides. All I had to do is check to make sure that 25 over 15 equaled 15 over 9, which it does. It checked out. It was side angle side. The very last one was probably went back to kind of the easy mode where we just had to circle which ones were small, medium, large in each one. So my small here was 24, medium was 30, large was 36. On the other one, my small was 16, my medium was 20, and my large was 24. So I said, well, my smalls are 16 over 24. Has to match up with my mediums, which was 20 over 30. Had to match up with my larges, which was 24 over 36. They all reduced to be equal, side, They are El Bueno. That's El Spanisho for those of you that don't know it. Mi español es muy bueno. Buenísimo. Buenísimo. Let's have Italian too. All right, what questions do we have on the homework? Because I'm sure we have questions on the homework. Sabrina.
For number 13.
For number 13, what is your question?
I just kind of like when it was put into writing, I kind of didn't really understand what it was trying to say.
Okay, so it says a 4-meter flagpole casts an 8-meter shadow at the same time that a nearby building casts a 24-meter shadow. It's saying how tall is the building. So we have a tree, right? I'm a tree. Sun hits me. I have a shadow that's down there. So I make kind of a triangle. If I would connect my head to the tip of my shadow, I have a triangle, right? Can you kind of picture what I'm saying? Because I'm not good at drawing. So if that tree is 4 meters tall and its shadow is 6 meters, that means I have a triangle that has a top, like my side here is 4 meters, and it runs about 6 meters. Now the building at the same time is also casting a shadow. So that's also going to create that triangle. And let me take a picture of what I have, because I just wanted you to picture it first. And so here's what I have. That 4 meters here is my tree. That's my tree. Maybe I'll draw a tree on it. That's a terrible tree. That's a tree. It's casting a shadow that's 6 meters, so the shadow is 6 meters long. My building is casting a 24-foot shadow, but I have no idea how high it is. So this is my building here casting the shadow. Well, they're going to be similar triangles because they have the same angle based upon the sun hitting at the same angle. So all I have to do is, 6 corresponds to 24. The same way 4 is going to correspond to x. So it's just solving this equation. Does that make sense? Did I lose you anywhere?
Yeah.
I did lose you?
Oh no, I just
okay.
I realized how simple it was. And
Oh,
I
okay.
just kinda...
Well, something simple once it's drawn. Like I said, the hardest part about these word problems should have been drawing, because once you have the drawings, it should have been pretty easy. Okay, they're saying, yeah, I'm still confused. Akshay. Number 18. No. 18 was a challenge question. It's all on there. Either you can follow it or not. We can talk after school, but it's a challenge problem to make you think.
Okay, so it's okay if you didn't.
It's okay if you didn't get that one. Yes. Number 7. If we had more time, I'd love to go over that one, but we just don't have the time. Okay, so for number 7, what I ended up doing is, since these are parallel, we know that alternate interiors are going to be congruent. So what I did is I redrew my triangles. I redrew R, S, F, and then I redrew G, S, O to make sure my angles matched up. So it's the easiest way. Show which angles are congruent, and then draw your triangles so they are congruent, because it makes it a lot easier to see which matches up. Because as soon as I have it drawn like this, I can see that 90 matches up with that 36. The J matches up with the 48, and the 70 matches up with the H. So I strongly, strongly encourage, if you look at my answer key, almost every one of them, I redrew my triangles to make sure they matched up exactly. It'll make your life so much easier. Some of you out there might be really strong at just being able to see it. Awesome on you. I know when I'm doing a test, I just want to make sure everything is standard as I can to make it as easy for myself as possible. Does that more or less answer your question? Do you have a question on top of that question, I guess?
Okay. I think I get it now.
Okay. All right, other questions? Amber. 9. Nine is this guy, and this guy tells me redraw the triangle so my right angle is up here. So I draw my big triangle. I draw my big triangle, and then we can draw 3 triangles, but I picked one that's going to work that has all numbers around it. Because if you look at this medium-sized triangle, it has numbers all the way around. It'll be able to get all of your answers. So you're trying to pick the triangles with the most numbers that match up. So as soon as I realize that I want this triangle, I'm going to redraw it so that my 90-degree angle is on top. So it really just has to flip because my A has to stay put because that's the one that matches up. Because let me draw that on there. My A has to be congruent with this A because they're the same angle. So I just make sure my drawing matches first, and then I label everything. All right, so I draw it first, match up these angles, and then I label it because I know my 90 degrees is my D. I know my A is the one they share, so this must be a C. Then I fill in the values. So I honestly draw first, and then I pick the letters second because I want these 2 drawings to look exactly the same because it makes your life, right? Like once you see this, does it make it a lot easier once you see them next to each other? Yeah.
I probably just put them around the wrong way.
Yep. Do that drawing. Draw your 90-degree first. Make sure the angles that they share match up first, and then write everything else after that. All right, other questions? Sabrina.
Number 15.
So number 15 is calculating the height of a bird's nest to a tree. So what we have to calculate the height of a bird's nest in a tree. Barry places a mirror on the ground, so I put a mirror on the ground. So he's looking down at this mirror that's bouncing back up to the tree. He positions the mirror on the ground between himself and the tree so that he looks into the mirror while standing upright. He can see the bird's nest. The mirror is 1.22 meters from Barry. So I'm going to say Barry's right here. All right, Barry's standing right here. So this is Barry. This actually says Bory. So that's my Barry. And it says that Barry is 1.6 meters high. That's why we have the height of 1.6. And he's 1.22 meters away from the mirror. It also says that the tree is 7.32 meters from the mirror. So this is 7.32. We have similar triangles. So this 1.22 over 7.32 is going to be the same as 1.6 over that x is what I have here. Other questions? Amber.
17.
17 is, I really don't even care what it says. On that type of problem, I probably don't even read. Maybe I read the question because the drawing gives you everything you need.
For that one, I got a similar answer. I think the answer was like 90. I got x equals 30.
So that's way different.
Well, it's like the same kind of numbers, except I got 3x equals 90.
Let's go through it together and we'll find your mistake. So we have, why aren't you pasting? Okay, there we go. All right, so we have a small triangle that has the x on it. You change it to x, right? Mm-hmm. So I'll change mine to x so we can go through it together. So we have small triangle to big triangle, right? So the big triangle is going to be 45 plus x. So we are going to go small to big. So that means my scale is going to be 60 over 90, which is going to be 2 over 3. All right? Then 2 over 3 is going to equal...
I got it.
Okay.
I forgot to do the process.
Okay. Yep. Cool. Other questions? Sabrina.
Number 14.
Number 14 is Jenny is 1.8. Let's just take a picture. Jenny is 1.82 meters tall, so I put Jenny right here. Jenny's standing right here. She's 1.82 meters tall. She wants to find the height of a tree. Starting from the base of the tree, she walks 12.2 meters along the tree shadow until her head is in the position where the tip of her shadow exactly overlaps the tree's shadow. So she started here and she walked 12.2 2 meters. And now their shadow's overlying. So her shadow is right here. The trees is this total thing. She also figured out that this distance right here from her to the tip of her shadow is 6.1. Well, that creates our two similar triangles, where 6.1 corresponds to 12.2, the same way 1.8 corresponds to our x value. All right, that's going to have to do it for questions because I only have 5 minutes left and I want to check your homework. If you have other questions, remember I do post on the answer guide. I did try to draw all the triangles. I tried to draw all the pictures that I needed to. 18, I'm sorry, we just don't have time to go over it. It's a pretty cool problem. Look at it. It all makes sense. I try to circle stuff. But anyway, I'm going to walk around. I'm going to